One of the coolest things about this program, we've been on radio for 25 years. We've been on television for 13 years, and we're TV and radio at the same time. Our television viewers from across the country often send us emails of who you want to see us interview, and whether it could be an author or a celebrity or a musical act, or sometimes a CEO of a public company or a private company. Yeah, Kent Wilson is one of those guys that we heard about from one of you. He's the CEO, president, and founder of a company called Alpine 4 Holdings Company. Alpine 4 Holdings, stock symbol ALPP. Russ, tell me what they do.
Well, the Alpine Group gets...
it's not the Alpine Group, Alpine 4 Holdings.
Alpine 4 Holdings has 4 guys, well, 2 guys, and it's a couples thing. It's a couples night out. And they hug.
It's not.
They just hold each other.
Here to talk about that is our good friend Kent Wilson. Kent,
well, that's why he's
you're
here.
Apparently very popular, sir. Somebody told us we should be talking to you, and you can tell us why we should be talking. How are you?
Well, first of all, I really didn't even want to come on the show now that I've seen how you guys interact before the show.
You really don't want to come on.
Watching what you guys have to do.
Oh, you really don't want to come on the show.
Really.
Talk to us about your company. Tell us about Alpine 4 and your business model and such.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, it's always good to have shareholders that are looking out for us and want us to be on the show. Yeah. You know, Alpine 4 we are the essence of Americana, right? Okay. We are a company, a holding company, buying American companies in 5 different vertical markets.
Okay.
Commercial construction, we built this country. Contract manufacturing that led us through several wars and into the greatest economic boom we've ever had during the baby boomer era, and even into now. You have our technology piece, which is really the forefront of some of our exciting things that we're developing out. We recently acquired 2 drone companies that fit in our aerospace model. And then finally, we've newly formed a defense services subset that will but be in conjunction to our aerospace side. And we're just, we're a fast-growing, very forward-thinking holding company that is doing some great things here in the United States. And we're really excited about it, and our shareholders are too.
And if you look back, what's interesting, many holding companies, and just as edification for our listeners and our TV viewers, many holding companies don't have the wherewithal to actually execute their business model right away. I shouldn't say most, but many holding companies create a holding company for the sole and limited purpose of going out and doing exactly what you guys are doing. But you guys are actually executing. You guys have press releases coming out. You're actually moving the ball down the field, which is not common in your space. And I think that's commendable, because if you think in terms of you've got new contracts coming, you've got revenue being booked. How did you get the velocity when a lot of holding companies have a little trouble at the giddy up?
I talk about this all the time.
I bet you do.
We are that, I'll write a book on it someday, and there's a few pivotal players, but getting a business off the ground is a lot like, getting an aircraft off the ground. You're sitting on the runway. You're certainly not going to get off the ground if you aren't giving it full throttle and 100% commitment, right? Yeah. So for the last 6 years, going on 7 years this June, for me, we've been giving it full throttle. And so we've done some creative things financially to go out and acquire businesses. A lot of times the business owners that we're buying from are bought into the dream that, we're selling, which is, growing that essence of Americana. And, we've been able to effectuate that where other companies, they want to do it. They think it's something they want to do, but they don't understand all the metrics and the perseverance and the details it takes to run a business. And as a guy that used to do turnarounds for private equity groups, I've seen pretty much everything that works and everything that doesn't work. Yeah. And we're trying to, move the company in a direction to effectuate our business plan, but do so in a way that is disruptive in nature. And, as we get deeper into the conversation, or maybe on a different show, I'll come back and we can talk about how we differentiate ourselves.
Well, and I want to talk about that because you've got the Alpine 4 Technology Group, you got the Aerospace Group, you got the Defense Systems Group, you got manufacturing. How do you decide what you're going to deploy and when, and how do you sort of triage that to where you know how to put your attention in the right place? Because obviously time is
not a coin toss is what I'm thinking.
Exactly, it's not a coin toss at all.
It's not, and listen. So let's talk about some cultural things. We have a model called SIDE, Synergistic Innovation Drives Excellence. And our greatest competitive advantage is that we are a company that works collectively, although we are completely different in what our verticals are. So a manufacturing president might be talking to a commercial construction president. And it's amazing when we discuss the relevant problems in each industry, how the little nuggets of gold information come out from another industry. It's kind of like industry presidents live in a box and they don't really understand or don't know what alternatives are out there. And so we've been able to do that and really, get our presidents to really grow along with, our other presidents and solve common problems. But you talked about what it takes to really manage these businesses. And it really comes down to having a good team. I am only as good as my team out there. I have a vice president of portfolio management. I have a chief operating officer, down to, our subsidiary bookkeepers that really keep us information flowing to the front lines. The bottom line is we're only good as our team. And then from there, I triage where needed. But that's, kind of running how you run a multiple.
And it's not the role of it. Kent Wilson's his name. Kent Wilson is the CEO, president, and co-founder. I beg your pardon, not co-founder, but founder of a company called Alpine 4 Holdings. ALPP, a holding company that's actually executing their business model. Their website, alpine4.com. Before I let you out of here today, what's COVID been like? And what's the next 18 months look like for you? We don't talk about share price, we don't talk about numbers on this program, but just as an execution sort of metric, what does the next 18 months look like for you after making it successfully through a pandemic? As evidenced by your press releases, you have made it through successfully.
Yeah, we doubled down. Our employees are number one for us. They are the backbone of this company. And what we did from that is retaining 95% of our employee base has really set us up for a record 2021. Q2 is looking amazing. We're very excited about it. And it really comes down to is we're seeing a labor shortage in this country. You talked about on the show, what's going on with not getting product, but having the money to spend it. Well, a lot of these guys and, competitors, they don't have the employees to go out there and do the work. We do. So,
well, there you go.
That helps.
Well, we'd love to have you back, Ken. I appreciate it. I don't think we've ever actually got to speak to a holding company that's actually executing a business model. Really interesting stuff. And you can find more about them online at Alpine4, the number 4.com, Alpine4.com. And of course, they are publicly traded under the stock symbol ALPP, and I invite you to go check that out.
Happy.
And take a look at that. And coming
So
up
it's not
here,
two couples double dating and hugging.
it's
okay.
not two couples.
Well, I'm glad we straightened that out.
Hugging.